Fanboy Modeling School. Hello, and welcome to Fanboy Modeling School. Holler at your boy.
Holler at him indeed.
Holler at him indeed. How are you doing tonight, my man, Steve?
Ladies and gentlemen, you're looking at the latest affiliate to join the Twitch mob, a man who's dedicated his life to misleading people, providing misinformation, and always giving you all some truth.
I'm going to accept it because it was somehow I'm like proud of that introduction. Thank you for that.
My man, the Fat Mantis, the heavyweight hitter.
You don't know how hard it was not to wear shades.
The only reason Spoon even had a summer. Let's keep it real. There is no one like this man right here. We want to give him all the props and all the accolades from the Hold Up TV network. Going over to Fight Juice Productions Conglomerated. Shout out to the OG himself.
It's definitely time to talk about that, right? We can definitely talk about this. So we've got Lanio, we've got Movie Junkie XL, we've got Dream Duck Holler, we've got Public Friend, Chaotic K, Carmen. Thank you all for stopping in to the Fanboy Modeling School. We've got a very, very exciting episode for you today. Look at that amazing introduction I just got from a man, my bestie, Steve, their curmudgeon, the Hold Up TV. He's got a lot of names.
I got a lot of names. I also got a new camera. Can you see finally this HD video quality over here?
Unfortunately, I can make out how ugly you are, so it's not doing you any favors.
It's not your fault that you were cursed with the light skin and what is it? Affliction. This is what it looks like.
Tell us, congratulations, man. Thank you so much, Bellboy. Holler at your boy. Yo, thank you all so much, Shell and Icebox, for welcoming. Yo, you guys have all made this possible. I know I've been doing a lot of begging and being like a bum. I've been like basically a grade A bum. A bum that could probably live in Manhattan. Yeah, that's the type of bum I was because I was just going for it. Begging, groveling. But I'm here. I'm here at Affiliate. And I'm here. Finally, we are Affiliate Brothers, my man, Steve.
Affiliate Brothers. Man, look, you know what? I got to keep it a buck with you, man. I've had a lot of friends in my life, and I've had a lot of cowards that would call themselves brother. But I can't say that I've had anyone as real as you. The reason why I love Mantis, this is not an internet friendship, right? We're childhood friends, man. We've been through it all. We've been homeless. We've had to grovel at the feet of bums who got money from their dads. We had to hook up with women to get food and survive another week. We've done all these things. But let me tell you why Mantis is one of the realest I know.
Mm-hmm.
When we had our first child, when my wife gave birth to our first child, we were in desperate need of someone to come help us put our house together. Not only did Mantis show up to help us move in, he stayed 3 more days, help us put a crib together, help us put a bed together, moved everything in. Folks, if you don't know the quality, the caliber of man you're speaking to right here, classic man, in spite of his weird liberal views, which I won't hold him accountable for tonight. This is a man's man right here, a man of his word, a true friend. If Mantis says he's going to be somewhere, there's an 85% chance he's going to be there. There's only a 20% chance he's going to show up one time. And in a world full of weak-wristed, weak grip, no opinion having, hide me from everything that could possibly offend me people in this planet, there's no one else I would rather call a co-host than this mother right here. And DJ Sensi Star and Bex and my wife, you. But right now you're number one.
Simmer down. And he's like, oh, and all the motherfuckers from the project. Ooh, crazy legs. And Bravo. 2 Chainz.
That dairy.
Jibber jabber. Yo, thank you so much. That absolutely means a lot. And to be honest, what we're gonna go over, because actually the news cycle is very scarce. Today, what we're gonna go over is the history of Fanboy Modeling School. We're going to go over the history of me and you in the streaming world. How the fuck did we get here? Right? But God bless you for that introduction. That means a lot.
I've been working on it all day, man. I put you on at work. I was the one that told Mantis that he had made affiliate. I woke up to check his numbers like I normally do to see how things are going over it. I have a vested interest in his success. It's all selfish. And when I saw that 50,
he wants a
fat. I'm not.
Yeah. By the way, Public literally, and by the way, shout out to Public Friend who it is their birthday today.
Happy birthday, Public! My dear,
an amazing stream earlier. That was great. Public read my mind when they said he just wanted the free lunch for the moving joke.
Free lunch. I think you paid for your own lunch, and you paid for your ticket to get home.
Yeah. I'll send you an invoice. I'm kidding. That if God should ever bless me with a woman or a family, I'll put you to work. We're building a deck. Can you come up?
I'm going to come over and I'm going to tell you how to build that deck the right way. Because you have to follow the instructions. We're not going to sit there and pretend like there aren't any instructions.
So. I know you're trying to egg me into a certain debate today, and it's not going to work.
I'm not trying to get no. The stipulation was you called veto on that debate.
Okay,
but I don't perceive your veto as real.
Oh, because your truth doesn't call for it.
I like your pimp cup. I like your pimp cup. That shit is dope.
You like that?
But wait, before we get crazy deep into the show, something else happened today, which is absolutely amazing.
Right.
You clamored for it. You begged for it. We screamed for it. The mother effing trailer for Thor Love and Thunder dropped. Folks, they need to make this a 3-part movie. And let me tell you why, Mantis.
Oh, wow.
Or the God Butcher. You saw it clear as day. The giant slain, laying on the ground, and they took that right out of the comic of Thor staring at a beast that was as old as time itself, I believe is what it said in the dialogue box, had been toppled. He wrestled Thor to a standstill, which in the MCU doesn't seem like a big deal, and even in Marvel Comics. But if we're talking about Thor proper, classic Thor that could open the Bifrost by swinging his hammer, Thor that could change into damn near anything he wanted back in the day, Thor. That's an amazing feat. We got the trailer.
Well, we did get the trailer, and I'm gonna be the curmudgeon of the group. I didn't care for it.
Of course you did. You're dead on the inside.
But here's actually why. And I see people up in arms. They're like, in a good way. They're like, yay, Thor, holler, honor, yay, Valhalla, all this shit. They didn't show us anything. It literally was as much of a teaser as possible.
Yeah, it was a teaser, bro. I mean, let me ask you a question, man. What is your problem? When did this happen to you? Did someone smack you as a baby?
Many times, but that's not where my problem is. My problem is the fact that they wouldn't show us a villain in this trailer, man. I want to see at least the inkling of a fight scene.
I'm glad they didn't show us the villain as well.
Chaotic says, I'm glad they didn't show us anything.
Yeah, I'm happy. I'm extremely.
Laney says sarcastically, shocking that I that I didn't like it. Now here's what I'm saying. I want to say this. I have 1,000% faith in the creative team. Taika Waititi. I love the last Thor. I think it was the best of the Thors. It was one of the best Marvel movies, to be honest. That wasn't like an ever crossover. I think I love the actor who plays Thor. It looks like it's good stuff. I just wanted more. We've been waiting so long for this trailer. I think we deserved more.
I get what you're saying. And as usual, we find ourselves at an impasse where, I don't agree with you in the sense that I needed more. I personally was happy with the teaser and its setup, but here let me explain why I was happy with the teaser. After reading Gore the God Butcher, that entire story, amazing story, by the way, amazing story. If you haven't, you don't even need to know much about Thor to jump into that one, to be honest with you. I need a little setup to see where the MCU is going to go with this, right? I need a little surprise. I need a little mystery, mystique, because here's what I don't want, right? I love the shenanigans from, the previous 2 Thor movies. And I love Guardians of the Galaxy as well, 1 and 2. But I'm going to need this movie to be 3 parts, Mantis. Like, you can't have a villain like Gore in there and have a bunch of laughy shenanigans. I know we live in a world where everyone's just like, yay, then the villain has a backstory and we should be able to relate to him. Oh, you're going to be able to relate to this villain.
Here's the thing. Chaotic says, "Gone are the days where the whole movie is shown in the trailer." That's true, but so are gone are the days where we had the fun villains where we didn't know what the fuck they were about. They were just some evil random dick trying to ruin the world. I like those types of. You know what it is? I don't think every villain should be that way, but I am tired of Marvel pulling "they're a human too. Don't you want to give them a hug?" Fuck out.
That's your whole bag. That like you would do a show with that type of villain. Wait a minute.
No, in real life, I give my villains hugs. That's why I want to go to a movie and watch a villain get murked out by the hero.
Bro,
I want them to decapitate the motherfucker.
Here's what I'm saying.
And then piss on the grave.
Jane Foster, the Thor nobody thought they wanted, right? I remember all the memes when they came out, Thor's a Disney princess and ba 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 ba. It was a horrible time. Every neckbeard, weirdo, conservative, incel, no vagina getting herb came out of nowhere and suddenly grew a backbone and had something to say.
Yeah. Well,
Jane Foster. We got Jane Foster.
That was one of my favorite parts of the entire trailer. I would even say, here's me being nitpicky. What was a very good directorial shtick? When he shows the little boy Thor running, and he passes one tree and then he's a teenager.
Yeah.
And then he runs past another one and he's an adult.
Right.
I didn't believe that the teenager was teenage Thor.
That's because you didn't go to film school, so you don't know anything about that.
He's too scrawny.
You didn't spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to make a short film and make all your friends sit through it. You have no idea what you're talking about.
I did that for free. I've done that many times. I've made my friends sit through my entire YouTube career. So I'm the real asshole.
I mean, I actually enjoy the brunch shorts, to be honest with you. I'm gonna pull you here a little bit, man. I remember privately arguing with you, trying to get you to do more political stuff. I was like, Mantis, no one cares about your feelings about yourself. We only care what you have to say about other people. Please start doing more political commentary. And look, you're a major success now. You're affiliate. You got chest hair. The hormones are obviously working.
Well, thank you. That means a lot. We've come up together from a long way. So how long have we been doing the show?
Holy shit. Hold on. I'm trying to think here. So I would say almost 2 years.
I think it's probably been 2 years, no?
Yeah.
It's had to have been 2 years.
It fucking, I cursed. I did it. It freaking feels like it.
Yeah, I feel like I've already cursed like 10 times already. So. I busted that nut. Oh, wait.
Broke the seal on that one. Right. So let's get into how this whole thing started. Well, let's start with your streaming career first. How did you get started, bro?
Well, remember, I started on YouTube, and I just woke up angry one day. I was grumpy, and I was watching the news, and everything on the news was bullshit. Everything was bullshit,
Right.
and I was like, "This is such bullshit." Now, here's the thing: probably like a year before that, the only thing I'd ever filmed myself really do was a quick lightning. I shat on it, by the way. Go figure. Iron Fist review. I was so disgusted at Iron Fist. On Facebook threw up a video of me just talking shit for like 5 minutes. A year later, I wake up grumpy. The news is pissing me off. And I start filming myself on Facebook, and I just go, what did I say? I said, hello and welcome to Morning Reflections. And I had my coffee, and I was just a sarcastic prick the whole time. And I put it up, and I got a lot of feedback. A lot of people were laughing, and thought it was awesome. They go, you need a YouTube channel, man. You need a YouTube channel. And I said, isn't that for just imprivileged, titled, rich brats who are unqualified to do anything with their life other than bitch on the internet and get paid to do it? I'm looking at you, YouTuber X. And then they're like, no, you can do it too. So I started YouTubing,
And I know we've gone over this before. I remember when I interviewed you for the first time. Tell me about what the response was to your content after that video.
Well, at first here's what it is, mostly amazing.
Right.
But because I did politics, because you can't chime into a news story without it being political,
right, I'd
eventually get the hater. The person who's like, well, Mantis, I don't find you funny. I find you quite offensive. And then I was like, oh. So, no, yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. Like, at first people were kind of hating on it or whatever. And, yeah, I don't know. That's pretty much it. Really, I didn't get into streaming. I didn't get into streaming until around... streaming was probably another year and a half later when I would actually go to Spoon, and I would get a gig on Spoon, but that's a longer story. But what about you, my friend?
There we go. You can give it a backdrop. Thank you.
Oh, I thought you had activated that.
No, I didn't. I don't know. StreamYard, I saw that they sent out a thing about a glitch, but I was like, you know what? What does it matter?
I thought you were taking care of something, so I was like, I better buy time, and then I just started stuttering. Fucking it all up.
No. So, for me personally, man, and this is real. I remember watching your videos back then. I thought they're hilarious, and I was in LA working at the time when I was on that job, and I thought then, I was like, man, I wish I had the time to do something like this. Like, I wish I had, and I don't mean that in you got all the time in the world, because I know you put a lot of work into those videos. But I kept thinking to myself, I would love to do something like this, but I work. I work 24 hours a day, and I'm with someone making sure they don't do anything crazy. So I don't really have time to express my opinions. When I retired from that field and I came back to New York, I got my current day job. And I was working with a bunch of people who stream constantly. Like, and I'm talking about people who put a lot of effort into it, like editing live streams, animations, and their overlays. King Cash comes into our chat every once in a while, and he's someone that's like, he's a Twitch extraordinaire. You know what I'm saying? Probably one of the best COD players I've ever seen. Best was the CSGO players. And then, that's when I met Zach. Shout out to Zach from my first podcast ever.
Much love, brother.
Actually, the first podcast I was ever a part of had an episode 0, and it never went anywhere. I actually had a podcast with Eamon and 2 other friends from California, and we did one run episode, listened to it, and we're like, this is trash.
Oh, man.
But yeah, started with Talking with a Dad, man. And Talking with a Dad was supposed to be my buddy Zach ushering me into the first-person shooter world of gaming. And then it quickly deteriorated and disintegrated into Zach and I expressing our feelings and opinions and then arguing on the internet. And I think when I decided to do the Hold Up TV, the first thing I wanted to do, man, was you and I both have an affinity for radio. We grew up in a time where, the radio host was just as important as the TV host, but they had this mystique about them. And when I wanted to do conversations that matter, I wanted to do something which existed before Spoon, But then it was just to hold up TV, and I would just do
Right.
interviews. I wanted to interview people and have them express themselves without being interrupted, because I find that the one thing, and I think this still holds true, the one thing people can't do now, this is going to blow your mind, right? Are you ready for this?
Here it comes.
People can't hear what other people from the other side of the table are saying without hearing the thing they're waiting to argue about.
Yes.
So I wanted
Even
to bring
if you don't say it. Even if you don't say it.
even if you don't say it, they leave and they're just
They'll
like,
somehow interpret that as
like they looks they just go through it. So I just decided, I was like, you know what, even if I don't agree with the person's viewpoint, I want to have them on and have the opportunity to have a conversation with them and then move forward. And I got to do some dope stuff. I remember you editing my videos for me, and right off the bat, I got 2 great interviews, and it's been all, downhill since then. I mean, it's been uphill.
I never understood that saying.
Downhill is fast, so it's been like, it's moving fast. Not
Okay,
like,
so that's good. Like downhill is good, and uphill is like slow and working hard.
Okay. We've been working hard at this, man. We've been working hard. And then you get on Spoon.
Yeah, so then I got on Spoon, and I got an actual gig on Spoon, and I didn't know what the fuck Spoon was. Like, I joined Spoon thing, and I was getting paid peanuts to do this show on Spoon. And before my first episode aired, I stayed on Spoon for about a month, and I was just basically like, I had a different name. I was Fancy Man 1984.
I remember that.
Went around, and I was seeing what made streaming work, and I was analyzing people's, like, who's popular, why are they popular. And then I would eventually practice stream on that. And I had to face the true brunt of, like, the non-popularity that a streamer gets. Like, for instance, your first stream, you sit there for the first 45 minutes to an hour before someone actually stays in your room. People come in and go, yo, what up, bro? And then they're already gone.
Yeah.
Or they come in and they type F you, and then they're gone.
Yeah.
So I sat through that, and I had to go through that. I had to, all these growing pains and learning and stuff like that.
Right.
But eventually I did that Rogue Planet on Spoon, and it was a good time, man. It was a really good time.
Yeah, I remember when you first got the gig for Rogue Planet, and I just thought that was absolutely amazing, man. First of all, shout out to how you got it. That's your business. I believe in networking and plugging, right? Pubs did a show on gatekeeping, and there is a certain level of gatekeeping that happens, which I never understand. People hold on so ferociously to certain things. And then there are other people who are anti-gatekeeping until they're the person that's in the point of popularity, and then they start to do the exact same.
Oh, they love it. Then they love it, right?
Yeah, then they love it. But the one thing that I love about your story is the fact that the proof of homeboys, right? You know what I'm saying? And like, it's a beautiful thing. And you took an opportunity and you freaking ran with it, man. I'm going to keep it a buck with you, man. There were only a few shows I would come on Spoon before I started doing anything on there to watch. So it was your show, Derek's show, and I would jump into Lapis's, and I think I caught Lainey's stream a couple of times before before she took her hiatus.
Right.
After that was it. That was basically it. And I was just like, man, this is really cool. And that's when I really, really thought, like, at the time, I was like, man, this audio, I still think this, but it blew my mind, and it was funny to watch you grow and develop on Rogue Planet. Those first episodes were not rough, but I remember you were getting acclimated to the process.
Right. It's just like everything's on fire. What am I doing? It becomes second nature, but I gotta say, Rogue Planet, one of my favorite memories, because this is funny. This is the week of my birthday.
Right.
So not only it's funny that I become an affiliate, I obtain this thing that I've wanted for a while. It's almost like a gift from God. God has given me my birthday gift. The end of the week is my birthday. But last year, when it was my birthday fell on Rogue Planet night, a Thursday night.
Oh,
you remember this?
Yes, I do.
And the idea was I would have you take over the show, and you would interview me.
That's right. I remember. That was amazing.
We had a ball, man. It was such a good time.
Yeah, I remember Gray Winthrop was in the chat like, curmudgeon. And it's been a great ride, man. You're doing your thing on Spoon for a little while, and then I kind of eased my way in there. For those that don't know, I didn't always start as the Request Box Live. I actually used to cover MMA and tech on Spoon.
Right. Yes.
And it was horrible.
Well, Spoon for some reason is incredibly just not into sports. I guess these are the indoor kids.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they're like, sport? You mean like a spork? No, a sport, like a ball. You throw a ball, and you're like, a ball? No, not your balls. Ball, like a. And you're just like, forget it, bro. Forget it.
You go outside and you do something for a set amount of time, and then you get sweaty.
Like, I'm allergic to the sun. But no, that was it was you know, your MMA things were great. I remember we once did a UFC stream together to watch the fight. We had a lot of fun.
We did the Floyd Mayweather one, which was that was actually a lot of fun.
That was. Oh, what were you gonna say?
No, you know what? One of my main motivations on Spoon, you know, really jumping on this thing, and I told this to you before. I've always wanted to get to the point where I could call out a troll and then be like, find out that they live 5.6 miles away from me and then beat them within an inch. Well, I can't say the rest because you're affiliate.
Right. Don't fill I don't think any app's gonna fly for that, but
right, you know, I
understand your sentiment.
I always thought that was the that is like my exit from the streaming world. It's like, you know, even if I accrue millions of fans and, you know, we're rich and blah blah blah, my very last episode would be throttling a troll. Like,
so yeah, mine is not the troll. So, you know, I put my links to my YouTube videos into clubs, like Facebook clubs, like whatever subject it is. And as we all know, Star Wars are the most heinous fans.
Yeah,
they're so mean. And so there'll be like a club that I'm a member of. I comment on, I like and share stuff on their thing. And when it's time for me to put up my link, I was doing that for a while, and then at one time I put up the link and a moderator denied it, and it was a YouTube review of a Star Wars thing, and I lost my effing mind, and I had to have words with the moderator. And guess what? The moderator, because it's Facebook, flaunted his location, and he lived not far from me. And I said, I go, this is how I end up in prison. But you know what? It never happened. It never happened because kids stay in school and only fight if you have to.
You know what I would really love to do? I would love us to go to the point of the end of Jan Silent Bob Strike Back and just start showing up to, like, you typed in the chat this on this day. You got balls to say it now? And they pull out their asthma pumps and like,
kids troll nation, bang bang. Public thinks they are the troll. And he says, this reminiscing is so sweet. It is sweet, isn't it?
Oh, shout out to Kathy, Carmen, and D Love. They did a test run for their show tonight.
Oh, cool. On what app?
Spoon.
Okay.
And we're looking forward to that. Just wanted to give them a quick shout out.
Are you allowed to discuss the title of said show?
I am. I'll let Kathy throw it in there since Kathy's in here. I always like to let the person, the peoples, discuss it. But if she gives me the A-OK, I just want to make sure. They did make a soft announcement, but you know, we'll wait for that. We'll wait for the A-OK from Kathy. It's been a hell of a ride, though, man. You know,
it's been a hell of a ride. It's been a hell of a ride. And so here we are. You know, I'm back on YouTube. You were the person who introduced me to Twitch, and you're the one that motivated me to get affiliate. You were like, don't just sit there with your Twitch. And I was like, Twitch is for girls in bikinis and gamers, and I'm neither. And then you said, but Mantis, you can be both. I said, okay,
you can have it all.
I'm announcing it right now. April 22nd, my birthday, this Friday, my first. I'm going to be doing a gaming stream in a bikini, in a bathtub, in my living room. You guys are going to love it. Be there. I'm the new Amaranth.
So it's your first and last week of being affiliate.
No, because Amaranth does that.
No, well, a man got kicked off of Twitch for taking his shirt off. He got a ban.
What?
Amaranth isn't naked. If you take your shirt off,
I'm gonna have a bikini top on. Come on,
there you go.
I'm an equal opportunity troll.
Let's talk about real quick. Let's go back to the Spoon days here for a second. So I want to talk about the summer of amazing. We had an amazing summer on Twitch.
So much fun.
It was at the waning end of the thing that cannot be discussed, but
Right.
was going on around the world.
Here's the sad thing, and this is what I'm going to say. It was things like that that made it magical. And I know obviously that Mantis is saying, yes, that thing you did, Mantis, was magical. You're very magical. That's what I'm not trying to say. What I'm saying is you can only do that. It's not only as fun if you do it on a small app.
Right.
You can't have a Twitch Olympics.
No.
It's not going to work out. Right.
I think we had something like that.
But I'm sure only Amaranth and Iron Mouse and like the top tier people are going to have any fun, and we're going to be nothing. Right.
Right.
So you can't really do that you can't have an Olympics. You can't have a summer camp, something as cheesy a concept.
Right.
On Twitch or YouTube. It makes literally no sense. It's too crowded. It's too, the ranges between small and large are too big.
But here's the thing. So, let's talk about that for a second. So the Spoon Olympics, in regards to that, I think one thing that you should be able to take away from it is the amount of support that came out for you, right? It was insane. It was insane. It was I knew it was a cash grab. Everyone knew it was a cash grab for the company, and rightfully so. They have to make money to stay afloat, or the entire American team gets cut, right? But it was amazing to see people come out and support their favorite streamers on such a small platform. And I remember leading up to it, we were all counting our pennies for Mantis. I'm like, all right, I got this much money to get him through this many days, and I got to spread it out, because I was trying to support a few other streamers.
Right.
And you killed. One person showed up big for you that night.
I'm about to tell a story about that real quick.
Yeah, go for it.
So I gotta say that I felt like I had, I had done the battle. I was fighting epic battles, you know what I mean? And I was making, you in any competition, you don't save any energy for the swim home, right? You give it all you can. And as I was approaching the end, I was like, I don't know if I can do this, man. I don't know if I can beat these other guys. These big tier people, especially since there was one big heavy donator who was on the side of the other guy. And in my final night, and she had showed up earlier that week, but it was Lainey. And in my final stream, Lainey dropped 2 crowns.
Yeah.
And I'm saying it's not like she wasn't the only donator, but that I couldn't even comprehend that type of love. And I'm going to tell you, when I got off stream, please don't laugh at me. This is my one vote. I'm opening up to you guys. I had tears. I was like tears in my eyes. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, you should have.
I couldn't deal with the love, basically.
It was an amazing feat. It was an amazing feat. It was absolutely amazing.
Public's laughing at me. Thank you, public.
I thought it was so dope because I was like, at that time, I didn't know Lainey, right? And I've never had a conversation with Lainey, and she was just kind of this fable
of a person, right?
Of a person that, this streamer, like, oh, you should check out Lainey when she comes back. I heard it all the time. So when she showed up to the stream, and not to mention, Lainey, don't take this the wrong way. Lainey's a nice looking lady, right? So like you would see her PFP floating around. There's, the blonde hair, and it would pop in and people would stop their streams and stuff like that. And they're like, oh my God, Lainey. And so she came in like the juggernaut, and I was like, oh, this is the mythic unicorn. And she lived up to all of the hype and has continued to live up to all the hype. I had a special moment in the Spoon Olympics that I'm going to bring up, but it doesn't have anything to do with me. It has to do with the Adult Swim crew, which is the night I decided to call them that. I was streaming during that whole thing at the height of it, and I was trying to work out a schedule to actually stream. And, we were full swing into Request Box Live now. And we hit number 1 on one of those nights because of the Adult Swim crew. Like, they came in, man, and I was just like, yo, hey, guys, I'm just doing this real quick, and I'm jumping over to Mantis's, but I said we were going to do a theme. And when we hit number 1 that night, it was because of Tree, DJ Eddie, and Big Cat and Jovi and right. Bex, like the original Adult Swim crew. And I remember Bex might have been drinking, but it was amazing. She kept saying,
putting her on blast like that. Damn,
no, it was amazing. Bex was like, "We're gonna keep you at number 1. God dang it!" And I was like, we don't stand a chance, but we hit it. And I always remember that moment being like, it was dope, man. It was the summer of love. I want to talk about another great moment that you had on stream, man. The first time you introduced us all to Grim Inquiry. when you were giving the shout out to Grim Inquiry about, this amazing show that was coming on, which was Grim Inquiry's show. And I missed those days of those co-hosts with you two. You jumping on, being on the panel. I miss Grim's show, to be honest with you. I remember.
I really miss Grim's show. Like, I don't know if Grim is here or whatever, but I try to encourage her to get back into it, and she felt like she can't do any more true crime.
I'm sure,
even though I know she consumes the stuff on the side. But I really think she could have gotten big as a true crime streamer,
Yeah, absolutely. You had some great interviews on your on Rogue Planet as well, man. And folks, if you don't know the production value, you can track it. Is any of that stuff still up on Spoon, or did you take it all down?
I still have kept all my Rogue Planet stuff on, so you can still go to the Rogue Planet and
check it out.
Yeah, and look at all those episodes. And then actually, they're also on Spotify, so I could technically remove them from Spoon. They're on Spotify right now.
Yeah, I don't think you can remove from Spoon. You're gonna try to go to your account and be locked out. It's just gonna keep talking to you in Korean, like.
Oh, I know they know who I am. I'm not just nobody. Because my ill behavior toward my end as I was leaving, I kept getting like in trouble on my streams because I was just getting loose with it.
Yeah, you did a stream called "This App Is Dead."
I said delete this app. And that's what happens when you cross the fat mantis. Coming for you, bitches. That's right, Neil Cho. You know who you are.
So I want to go back to something public asked earlier. Public asked who's YouTuber X, and it's only ever been revealed 2 times on air. Right. Once during a drunken fanboy recording that it still made its way up. I'm like, he'll delete it out later. Yeah. And he didn't. And then on another drunken stream on Spoon. And I don't know if that's still up or not, but maybe we can get Mantis to go for it a 3rd time if he
the thing is, here's the thing. Like, here's what it is. You don't want to give somebody you have issues with free press, right?
That's true.
Like, whatever. We've got a couple of people in here. We're not big, She's cornered the market only because she came in on the ground level and we're just getting started. She makes content like she's bored, like she's done with her job, right? She's like winding down. She's like a narcoleptic sea turtle. Their videos. She does the bare minimum to get by, but basically, I don't. Also, I don't want to create that kind of beef. I think she knows that we beef. But I don't want to truly advertise it.
Oh yeah, well I beef publicly.
I'm trying to keep it political. All I have to say is that YouTuber X is a silver spoon in her mouth, grew up on the Upper East Side, rich, incredibly privileged, incredibly Caucasian. Like, she's the Caucasian version of a Caucasian person.
She's so Caucasian. She's just from the Caucasoids.
Yeah, from the Caucasoids. The Germany in the early 40s would have loved her to be on their side. They'd make her a poster girl.
No, that's interesting. You said that, given her. Oh wait, no, I always confuse her background. Never mind. Go ahead.
Yeah. And she has a lot of takes that come from a wealthy, privileged point that I feel like are just out of it.
Right.
And then also sometimes her scoops are really bad. And I'm not saying all her scoops are bad, but sometimes the scoops are so bad that I'm like, you made that up, didn't you? And so I take issue with this person.
I think Kathy might have just given me an opportunity to shout out the name of the show. So it's Power Love Latinas.
Oh wow. That's a name. I like that name.
It's an amazing name. It's an amazing name. 3 amazing women, three amazingly powerful women who I'm looking forward to seeing succeed. I have a vested interest in their success.
Wait, is it in Spanish?
So listen, they gave me the privilege to be backstage on some of their conversations. I'll let them reveal what they're going to do.
Okay. Sorry.
You should be sorry, you chauvinist, you woman-hating pig, you.
Why? Because I only publicly get into beef with female content creators?
Exactly. Mantis is steered away from beef with men. He's like, okay, bro, whatever. Okay.
No, I don't steal car betas like Campion and stuff.
Campia is a saint. I would protect him during a game of dodgeball.
He's gonna need your protection because he's ultimate beta.
Everyone has
code, if he was a super villain, his code name would be the jellyfish because he's got wobbly arm.
But he's so amazing in his coverage, right? He does a great job reviewing stuff. I've yet to see anyone that has the sound setup and stream setup of Campia.
Well, we shouldn't focus on other streamers right now. This show is about you and me and the great things we've achieved. If
you say his name 5 times, he'll pop up with those glasses on. Like, what I'm saying is, it's not that the movie is bad. Love it. That voice. All right, let's get back into some more of the shenanigans. So let's go back to the Anchor days, folks. If you didn't know, Fanboy Modeling School is on Anchor.
And so wait, we haven't even addressed what's really going on with Fanboy Modeling School. So Fanboy Modeling School, you guys don't realize this, has perpetually nonstop been on for more than 2 years.
Yeah,
and we've been on different platforms. We've been technically of audio podcast on YouTube, all sorts of things. We did Bigo Live for a little bit there. We did Spoon for a little bit there. We've gone around, but we've always made it as good friends who live away from each other to once a week get together and just talk about shit that's in the news or, entertainment news and fun pop culture shit, and we've kept that weekly. The day may have changed, but we've stayed steadfast in making this show.
Yeah, I think we were on Thursdays, we were on Saturdays, Sundays, and here we are on Mondays.
You want to change to Tuesday for no good reason?
Let's just do it, man. We'll just do it every other day. Let's talk about the episode that we've talked about it before, but let's talk about the bad idea, which was the let's drink until we're stupid episode. I don't know.
I mean, that was an escalation where it used to be like, I think we've started we were super professional at first.
Yeah.
And then we were like, okay, we're going to bring a few drinks. No harm, no foul. And next thing we know, slowly over a couple weeks, a few drinks is like, we're getting shit-faced. Like, so I think you guys know, like, when you binge eat after you're totally wasted. I remember schedule, no matter what day it was, we do the podcast until late night.
Yeah.
Finish after midnight. And I'm like, I'll see you, brother. Love you. I'd go straight downstairs and make a steak. I'd make a steak, make some ramen, both. And I'd down it while I'm watching TV. And I'd wake up and be like, why does my stomach hurt? And like, I would just binge eat. And that was my routine. So that's how bad it was until finally one day we learned our lesson as to why we shouldn't really go ham on stream.
Bro, I just remember thinking we were saying the deepest things. We were talking. I remember the last topic was like on a fight that had just happened. I felt like we had gone so deep, like we're just breaking it down like two commentators. When I called you the next day, I was like, "How bad is it?" You're like, "It's horrible."
Oh, it was 4 hours. It was like 4 hours. We kept repeating ourselves. There, the main part of it was like my editing. I had to keep. We would have pauses between our words. I'd be like, Steve, the thing with Conor McGregor is, and so I would have to constantly keep trying to make sentences out of them, like full sentences. And I was like, this is going to take me years of editing. Why am I trying to say? But we were so desperate to make content. Nowadays, we throw episodes away like they're nothing.
Yeah.
like that one isn't perfect. Chuck it.
Yeah.
Right. Because it is better to have good content on your channel, right?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Then whatever. So nowadays, we'll throw out a bad episode. There are times we've had episodes and we're like, well, there's no reason to put that one up. That one kind of sucks.
And there were just straight up times where I was like, I'm not putting this up, man. Like, it just does not make sense to have this in a catalog. Let's get into that, man. How much work would you say you put in on the app? Now, let's get off of like our relationship. How much work you, the Fat Mantis, since the inception of Rogue Planet and before, would you say you have put into growing your platform and streamlining what you do? Because you take it serious. You're a serious content creator. I don't think numbers always speak to the level that the amount of work people put into their content.
Yeah, no, absolutely, absolutely. So I would say one of the thing is I put too much work in. As a matter of fact, my boss at Spoon even said, he says, you don't have to work so hard, Mantis.
Mm.
And I said, I will stop working when I am fucking dead
Yeah,
and
he was obviously
buried
a
with my
loser.
mic in my hands. You know what I'm saying? If I could pick a place to die, it'd be in midstream.
Right.
Mocking YouTuber acts or something, or sticking it to the lefties. So many countless hours I couldn't even calculate because so what it is, I got about 205 videos up on my YouTube. Every one of them is several hours of editing work. Some are worse than others. What is going on over there, man?
You won't believe it.
You got some Men in Black stuff going on over there.
My light nearly fell and I caught it. It was fun. Go ahead, I'm listening.
Public says F that. Oh wow. Fat Mantis bitches is what Public says. What is Public disgusted by? Public said Clint said that. Yeah, Clint said I work too hard. He often told me, he's like, you don't have to work so hard.
I don't understand. Okay, let's talk about that for a second. Was Clint just trying to protect you from being consumed by this and burnt out?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. He would often be like, there'd be times he'd be like, you know, it occurred to me, you were never taking a day off. And I said, you've never. And so actually, I'll say this. I know this is a nerdy thing to say, but during my time on Spoon, there was never a missed episode of Rogue Planet. And
right.
It was one where I was traveling, I was flying, and I had to fly while the episode was on. So I had everyone in my Discord ask me questions, record themselves asking questions. And I said, and ask me anything episode, and I recorded it, and I just put it up right before I got on the plane. So that would take up an episode, even though it wasn't alive, it was content. And so I made sure that I never took things off. And I'm telling you, everyone else was taking mental health breaks and, whatever. And I was like, nah, man, I'm here to do this.
Let me ask you a question. Did you get paid for that?
I did. And at
That's
first,
amazing.
and that was a hustle too. Because at first I was like, I told him what I was doing. I was like, I'm making an episode anyway, so my fans have some content that night. And he's like, yeah, we really only pay for live streams. And then after he heard it, after I landed, he had heard it, and he sent me a text. He's like, I heard your episode, your pre-recorded episode. It was amazing. Yes, I will absolutely pay you for that. I said, okay.
That's dope. That's dope, man.
Huh. Yeah, no, you can see why I'm so angry that wonderful, this job where I was killing it, when it fell apart, I became a bitter monster.
I wouldn't say you became bitter. I think it was the appropriate reaction to the whole thing. Everyone has their own reactions, obviously, to it. Some people probably weren't as invested. I'm talking about the streamers. I'm not talking about people who are gainfully employed, such as yourself. I always have to remind myself not to respond.
Yes, right.
But let me ask you this question, man. So in regards to growing it and becoming a professional streamer and like really giving it, what do you think that line was? Because even in the beginning with Rogue Planet, you didn't have a lackadaisical at all approach to it, but I noticed there was a shift, and I think that shift for me, I noticed it most was when you started streaming on your own personal account. When you started doing things on the Voice of Fat Mantis, on Fat Mantis channel, I was like, okay, he's taking this really seriously, because now he's filling up the entire week with stuff.
Right. So I was putting content out all the same, and after a while, this was, and I remember this is like one of the only arguments me and my boss got into. I was Rogue Planet, and I would go into streams as Rogue Planet, and I would post things, and I would do other streams that I thought were associated. And then he called me one day, and he said, yeah, Mantis, we're going to need you to only time you stream on Rogue Planet is for your show on Thursday. And I said, what? And he's like, yeah, all those other streams do on your own personal one. And I said, I'm not charging you. He's like, I know you're not charging it, but we want it to be exclusive. Like, the only time you can have Rogue Planet is then. And I said, have you ever heard of a YouTuber who does one video a week? Like, what is this? And I say you can't get a name out if you don't consistently stream. Absolutely. And that's another thing. He had so many washouts in terms of the people he hired, because when people had that attitude that they were only coming for that 1 week, they'd clock in for an hour, do a shitty show, and leave. Of course, they're not growing. There are some people who would fall for it and be like, I like this person. But most of them did not do well unless they created a culture on the app where they were part of it, where they were part of everyone, where they were communicating, they were making friends. If you weren't making friends or it's social media. If you're not socializing, you're not doing it right.
Right.
But I would say you also have to make a lot. So I begrudgingly did Fat Mantis. But then after a while, I was like, you know what? I'll make money on Fat Mantis with tips and stuff, after this. But at first I was an ass about it.
I would have never guessed that, man. The way it was coming off in the streams. I remember you were doing the talent show stuff, and I was just like, I got to be honest with you. You're probably the only talent show live that I ever went to, and that's not because I don't like talent shows. It's just like often the first part of that combination wasn't present in some of those things. And I'm like, I don't want to be here. I don't want.
I hear you. There are talent shows and there are talent shows. You know what
I mean? So I just like, I remember tuning in for those, man. And I remember the first time I heard the Fat Mantis sing, and he threatened the entire audience. There was 16 of us in there, and no one was calling up. And he was like, "If you guys don't start calling in singing, I'm gonna sing this entire episode."
That's where I started that, and that became my tradition of my thing, right? The punishment is you have to hear the Fat Mantis sing. Lainey says the Fat Mantis channel was amazing, though. Thank you so much, Lainey. It was so amazing that they made you keep it separate, right? It was so stupid that they made
absolutely. Guys, make sure you come back tomorrow after Mantis gets his accept letter. It should come around 6 a.m. I believe is when it'll pop up in your Gmail, and when he does his live for brunch with the Fat Mantis, he will be officially monetized on Twitch. Let's talk about getting paid on Spoon, man. You miss it?
Yeah. Oh, of course. But no, absolutely. Even when it was peanuts, even though it was peanuts, it was the little thing you can do. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's like when you do the nice thing and you're like, oh, my poor elderly neighbor, she can't mow her lawn, I'll mow her lawn. And she comes out and she's like, thank you. And you are a grown adult, and she hands you a $5 bill. You go, thank you. That's so sweet. And that $5 bill means something to her, so it means something to you, right? And so that was absolutely amazing. I'll tell you, man, real quick, I want to say another amazing memory. I was down in Virginia. I was visiting Virginia.
Oh, that was a great trip.
When I was, and I continued, it was still in I remember I decided to stream every day of the summer. It wasn't Olympic time yet. The Olympics was at the end of the summer, but I was doing every day dailies or whatever. And I remember getting that email that I became choice.
Right.
And my mind was blown. And I remember I had a choice party because of it. And in my Discord, however, I didn't have any place to do it, so I went to my old kung fu place, which I have the key to. And the business is closed, and I didn't want to get caught, and I turned it on, and a bunch of people showed up, and it was amazing. You were there, and a bunch of other people. It was wonderful.
Yeah, you had two, but here's the thing, man. I remember your Virginia trip. If we could talk about that for a second, man. Every part of it was cool because it's like you're vlogging, you're doing, you're dropping stuff on IG, and you're doing lives. You went live the entire trip. The best moment of that trip was when you almost got murdered.
I'll tell you this, the secret to life, the best part of any trip is when you almost get murdered.
It's true. It's true.
Here's what I'm saying. There is a thin line.
In America, folks, we don't want you traveling abroad. There's nothing cool about nearly getting murdered in Europe.
I'm not telling you to go get murdered. Don't go get murdered. But what I'm saying is when you almost get murdered but don't, it's an amazing feeling. It's absolutely amazing feeling, right? And especially when you're abroad, because there's no feeling like it.
He means abroad in travel, he's not using a derogatory term against.
I mean, this isn't the 20s. I don't think they think I'm saying that. Lady, this is not the Olympics. So Lady says I'm a great singer. Thank you so much. Oh,
No,
and then Kathy
Laney
says,
was
but now
saying
we're
that
gonna have to
you should
endure
take
the
it.
ads. Yeah, I'm sorry, guys.
We get paid off those ads though. So if you love us, just look away for a split second.
Yeah, don't skip that. Suck up the ad real good. Uh, um, but that was crazy, and technically, you say you could have saved my life. I think you may have saved my life that night.
Yeah. You should have saved your own life. That should have been obvious what was going to happen next.
Basically, I was crashing in a place I shouldn't be crashing in, and there was a dude that I barely knew who was also crashing there because he's kind of like a free spirit. Like he's an ex military, he's a vet, and he just kind of crashes where he was. He's not like a crazy beard having vet. He's a young vet, but probably just as crazy. And I remember I was talking to Steve I think I was showing him a digital a tour of the place, and you're like, who's that shady white guy in the corner? And I go, oh, he's cool. You're like, do you know him? And I was like, not really, but he takes kung fu here. And you said, what? And you said, is he gonna murder you? And I said, no, I'm sure he's fine.
Dude, hold on for a second. You didn't set that up right, man. You were giving me a tour, and every room was lit except for one room you walk into, and then you pan the phone really quick, and it's like Blair Witch quick. I see some dude sitting in front of a computer with the lights on his face. And I'm like, what the? I'm like, yo, who's that? And you're like, oh, this is what's his face. You actually turn the camera towards him. And I was like, this guy's got killer written all over him. So, what happened? What happened?
So, I mean, it's a little complicated to get into it, but essentially, what happened was he goes and sleeps in another room, and I sleep in one room, and I'm going to sleep, and essentially I hear, and there's a back door in the room that I'm in. I can either go out in the hallway or go through the back door. Now, the Kung Fu place is in like a office park where there's nobody there at night. No one has any business there. So only us Kung Fu bums who crash the Kung Fu place do it. And in the back alley, I can hear somebody walking around out there. And there's steps that lead up to the door, the back door. And I heard someone sneaking up to the steps. And I stop and I'm like, and all the lights are out. So I seem like I'm asleep. And I creep up and I look down. And I see there are feet down there. So someone's definitely out there. And I suddenly go, is someone out there? No comments. No one saying anything. And I look down and look low. Feet are still there. And I was like, oh, Jesus. He's coming to kill me.
Wait. Didn't you guys go out with each other prior? Like you went out on a night in a town with each other as well. So this is the setup for the movie.
Yeah, and another thing is he would say creepy things now that I think about
it. I haven't skinned a man in a few years, but I'm sorry, continue.
But basically he would, he was a vet, and he came back and he kind of got this new belief that like there's no reason in owning things or owning property or anything like that. And so he created like a hobbit house out in the woods that he doesn't own. He's like, it was like the state's property. But, sometimes he'd want a warm shower or some shit. So he'd come to the Kung Fu place where he trains. And my Kung Fu master is kind of a hippie. So he likes people like that. He's like, oh, you live you live on an anthill? Awesome. Come, brother. And that kind of shit. As we all know, the fat mantis doesn't roll that way. No, he does not.
Laney would like some examples of the creepy things that he said to you before you conclude the story.
Well, you know how a lot of I always say X, but like I'm saying, a lot of these vets, I'm not saying all of them, but occasionally they out of the blue mention a time they've killed someone before.
Yeah.
You're talking about like, we were out at a bar and we were in the outside seating area. And it's me and my boy Greg and him, and we're all Kung Fu guys. We just came from working out, doing training, and we're talking about a logger. And out of nowhere, he said something about like how this reminded him of this fateful night, and then trailed off. I was like, fateful night? And then he's like, the first time. And I was like, first time you got laid. And he's like, no. He's like, when I was overseas the first time. And I said, okay. And I didn't want him to continue. Lady says, nope.
You should have been like the first time you got laid overseas. Where are you going with this whole thing?
Yeah. No, like, oh my God. So, stuff like that. So I should have known better. And so I left the Quoon. But the fear of him or staying awake would not have entered my head if it wasn't for you, my man.
Listen, when you told me that, I don't know if I spaced out, but did you explain the part about the railing breaking and what made you jet out of there?
Right. So I actually, I can look like I left way earlier than I did. I still was stupid enough to stay around. And after I go back to the other side of the place, the room that I'm in, a huge room, by the way, it's a place where you train kung fu. He leaves. I hear the feet go away, and then I hear a, and I'm like, what the fuck? And finally, I'm like, I'm gonna confront this thing, and I go out there and I open up the back door, and so there's a railing. There's actually a railing that goes up the stairs. And it's broken off. And I don't see anyone out there. I'm like, what? And so obviously something out there broke the railing. Now, unless there's a werewolf wandering through office parks, there's only one other person that could be in this area, and that was him.
Oh,
and that's when I was like, nope.
Yo, folks, he had gone live earlier that night. I think we did an episode of Fanboy Modeling School before this happened. And then the next thing I know, I'm laying down in bed and I get an alert that Mantis is live on Spoon, and he's live and he's walking. And he's like, craziest thing just happened to me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, bro, run. He's still behind you. He's right behind you.
And basically, I was looking for a way to like save money while I was in the Charlottesville. I didn't want to keep paying for a motel. And like the motels were like way down the line, far from the place that I used to be staying at. But I was like in the middle of the night, I was like, I'm going back to those motels.
How long did it take you to walk there?
Like an hour and a half or something like that.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was like walking in the middle of the night. And like, it was just like walking. Of course, I go to the same hotel I had before. I was getting I was a motel, and the motel was like $60 a night normally. But I had checked out like the day before, and I saw the same guy that normally, and I'm like, hey, I'm back. Is my room available? No, I gave it away. And I was like, okay, what rooms do you have? And he's like, he has a room. And then he's like, $95 a night. And I go, wasn't it 60? And he's like, it changes every day. Like, and I started thinking to myself, I was like, it's better than getting murdered. Like, I went with it.
Back to the school. You're like, you know what? It's cheaper to die than to spend this money. So let's fast forward a little bit, man. So here you are. You're now a big time celebrity on Spoon, right? You had choice on your personal account. You're a friggin' what is it? An original on the other, and then you started doing something else. You started organizing. I don't think people realize some of the stuff you were doing in the background of Spoon, man. You were like organizing events, whether they were Spoon sponsored or they were just like, and that's what I loved about that. You would do the Spoon sponsor stuff, get paid, and then you would do stuff where it was just like, yo, we're gonna do movie night, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that. Tell us about these days, man.
Yeah, so like, yeah, no, so I get hired to from Spoon to be the event coordinator for on-app things, right? And that's short-lived, and Elaine says producer Mantis. I try to be. But also I saw, like, I started making a movie night in my Discord, and I just loved, that was the best part of Spoon. And that's what I felt like we don't need Spoon for. It's a community. It's the community.
Right.
And it's absolutely the community. So we all love each other. We're all chilling. We're getting into each other's apps. And I was like, we could do this anywhere, when it came down to it.
Right.
But at that point, I was doing all sorts of things, organizing like holiday events or whatever, because every month you have to have some events go down.
Right.
And that was awesome because once again, I'm getting paid to at least be involved in something I love, which was Spoon and streaming and the community of streaming.
Right.
And so, and then also when the floor fell under, just gave way from under our feet. I was like, I was still adamant about having Thanksgiving and Christmas. Right. I said, I understand that like Koreans don't have either holiday,
That's
And it's not my mad that their culture's backwards.
oh my god.
But we do things the right way. We give thanks for the genocidal pilgrims, and we thank Christ for coming into this world. So that's what we're gonna do. And I organized both a Thanksgiving thing and a Christmas thing, technically on the house. Basically, I had already started the Thanksgiving thing, and I was like, I'm not gonna let it die. And it was a success. It was fun, you know.
Man, I tell you what, man, you put a lot into it, and you built a lot, and you built your Discord alone is proof of that, man. You built a real community around shenanigans, insights, and having a good time, and dope content. Let's talk about another amazing project that you were a part of. Men supporting men.
Men supporting men.
Controversial. Enlightening.
Absolutely controversial. So it has a red pill name. But as you notice, people who, manosphere type name. But if you notice, if you really listen to most episodes, it never goes there.
No.
Right? And the concept was just really 4 guys talking about being supportive to other men and, caring about other men in the way that, like, nobody cares about us. And so I'm just gonna say, we all know that the tragic figures about what men do to themselves when they're really depressed, that kind of stuff, because it's overwhelmingly men who do it. But it's funny that, like, in literature and movies, it kind of makes it look like it's women who do it, but it's really men who do it.
Yeah, the numbers are way higher.
Yeah. And so we wanted to create a thing, and so it was me, Derek, Vic Boo, and LaMikey. And it was more of like a powwow between guys, kind of a therapy group, just like a men's group,
right?
Well, like I said, we didn't go full red pill and we didn't go full Fight Club. I wish we went either way. Because I like extremes. The man just likes extremes.
I wish we just would have committed to something.
But and that eventually would end up on Green Room, and that would also fizzle out. I am going to tell you right now, shameless plug, the 29th we're coming back.
The 29th.
That's a Friday, actually.
It's a Friday.
We're going to start changing days. We're going to start Fridays. Probably like it's either going to be 7 or 8.
Oh, coming back with a vengeance.
Yeah, so we've had it. We just had a meeting, the 3 of us. Guys, eventually, when the spoon thing fell apart, LaMikey would unfortunately leave us, and love him to death. I wish he didn't. He's always welcome back, but he kind of like took off or whatever. But that's another thing, doing other projects, joint streams, like that's what you can do as streamers. You know what I mean?
Right.
And once again, because our community was small on that app, there was a small app. It was easier to do that. Like, I can't go to a random Twitch streamer and be like, I like what you got. You like what I got? And they're like, yeah. And then I'm like, let's do some crazy show together. They're just not going to say, they're not going to do it.
No, yeah, it takes a lot of time building up those relationships on the bigger platforms. Whereas, when you're on a spoon, you're on a green room, you do have the chance to kind of vet and get to know people and, build a community and say, let's collab now. That doesn't mean that you can't grow to do that on a
right, but you gotta form a great community, and it's harder because a lot of times on bigger apps, when there are bigger streamers, they always assume that you're using them for clout.
And what you are. And on some level, you are.
I just believe in community and hugs and love, guy. I don't know about you. Lady says, didn't we end up doing Christmas on Green Room? Yes. So I already had plans for Christmas. So we did Thanksgiving on Spoon, even though it wasn't really welcomed, wasn't supported because there was no staff to help us. And then I already had certain plans, like pseudo plans for Christmas. And I was like, we're still going to do this. We'll do it on Green Room. And we had 12 nights of Christmas, and we did 12 nights of streams, and the community really jumped in there. We saw all sorts of shit, from singing to creepypastas to people acting fools. I actually really liked the 12 nights of Christmas that we did on Green Room.
Yeah. I like the flyer work you did for it too, man. Those were pretty great numbers, like a great triumphant way to say goodbye to one thing and then come on to another, like another app. And a lot of people came into that going, "Oh, who are all you folks?" And it's like, we just got to excommunicado.
Yeah. I was hoping that would create a sense of community enough that people would stick around, and now people usually gravitate back to what they're used to. Their abusive ex-boyfriends.
Yes.
And that's what I consider that other app.
That went dark. I gotta tell you, man, I've been going back on there just to. I don't want to burst anyone's bubble. If you thought I was making a spoon return, and not that anyone would give a shit. Dang it, not that anyone would give a shoot either way. But yeah, I'm trying to cash out those. I'm stuck at 15,000.
Grens 2 says pub. It's Pony. What up, old Pony? Holler back. Yo, Public says I'm gonna make sure to stream on that time. Thanks,
what time?
Pubs. When Men Supporting Men is on. Pubs doesn't like it when men get together and talk to each other.
Oh,
it's offensive to their
sentiments.
Their sentiment.
I'm sorry, Pubs. But I'm not in the show. I'm too black.
But you were saying, go on. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, it's funny, man, because like the early like green room days, watching you build up again, right? That's something that some people get knocked down in life, man, and they never recover, right? And I tried to explain it. I actually got into a little beef over you one day on Spoon. You know me, I always like to go to the hood and just see what people were saying, spit in a few faces, kick a few babies, you know, that type of stuff. Yep. And I showed up and someone was celebrating the downfall of all the choice. And I pulled up and I still had my choice. And they're like, "What? How did you get to keep your choice?" And I was like, "Well, I reapplied." And apparently that's all you had to do was reapply. And then we start going back and forth in their stream. And they were like, someone said something extremely bitter and strange.
After dark, those fools.
No. I got at one of those cats privately, and I was not privately, like in the stream. I was just like, yeah, keep that same energy when people roll up. Don't stop chatting now that you see my PFP. Right. Like keep the same energy. But you know, these people were going back and forth with me, and they're like, well, all the choice streamers were like nobodies to me. And I'm like, okay, then why did you just make an entire stream to diss choice streamers? Just say what's on your heart, really. You didn't get it. You don't understand why you didn't get it. And you're mad about that. And now that you think that people have failed, you want to celebrate that. I'm like, but I have a friend that actually worked and lost 4 jobs that did a lot to build up this community. So you kids can go suck on your asthma pumps. I wish your mother would have let you come out of her or swallowed you as opposed to
It's funny, they're like, you can't use this words, but you can definitely say that you wish that a kid was aborted before he got into this world.
Not what I said.
Yeah, Logan, yeah, come on, swallowing the kid. Come on here. Logie Bear, welcome in, brother. BT Dub says, am I too late? I heard Red Pill.
Is this over on Green Room or YouTube?
That's Twitch.
The comments aren't coming up for me anymore. That's all right. So you know,
Logie says, are you still complaining about Spoon? It was brought back up. I didn't bring it up. Steve did.
Liar. I was like, I'll take the heat for you if you need to. But now you're doing your thing on Green Room. What has been your experience on Green Room thus far?
So, basically, here's what it is. Here's where I compare it to. Everybody needs a rebound chick.
Yes.
Right. So my old boo spoon turned out to be a dirty, dastardly, trifling hoe. Right. And now I went with the homely chick, Green Room. not as pretty, not as popular, not getting as much clout from the situation, but it's a warm place to keep my head at night coming out of a storm. You know what I'm saying?
This is double entendre?
Yes, I'm telling you, another fucking Green Room. Okay, come on, stay with me, brother. Stay with me.
No, the warm place for your head.
Oh, didn't even see that one. But so ultimately,
yeah.
It has been a good rebound chick, but rebound chicks are usually only good for like 3 months, right? Am I right?
Yeah. So if Green Room's a rebound chick, Bigo Live was definitely that skank you met at the bar.
Yes, Bigo. Who gave me a disease?
Crabs.
Yeah. So, you showed me the light, and not that I'm saying they're ever my favorite apps, and Twitch overlords, please don't be mad at me. But Twitch and YouTube is what I'm going to mostly focus my energy on. I am going to continue to do my morning brunches, also on Green Room.
Don't say that out loud. Delete that footage.
Right. But yeah, it's been fun, but it's been a completely glitchy, idiotic, not good app whose the culture there is just not good. And that's the thing. And that's the thing about apps. Apps are tools that we use, and G compares them to like a tool. He's like, it's like a Switch Army knife. Does it give you what you want? There's that. But another thing you have to realize is that it's also just like they're like different high schools. I compare them girlfriends or high schools. It's about the culture on the app. So, like, for instance, Bigo Live is an amazing app.
Right.
People on it,
community,
fucking disgusting animals who need some penicillin shots or some shit.
Bro, we still got to take public through them streets one night, man. Bigo Live is
we're going to. It's gonna be a great time.
Every time I get to like a straight up argument with like 80 people, not that you should be surprised in a Bigo Live. I was like, wow, this is amazing. I've never argued with this many people at once.
They look for a fight for anything you do. And I thought, I thought the people in Spoon were hostile.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you do find a community, but there are times you go into a Spoon Live. And so there was one time that Clint gave me a job. He was like, I'm going to give you like, I think it was like 5. He was like, here's 500 super likes. And the objective, this was actually, I'm going to brag about this. This was my idea. I said, why don't, if super likes don't cost us anything as a company, why don't we have people take super likes and go to the kids who are like, go on the top 100 list and go to the bottom of the barrel, people who have no one in their stream. Go in there, be nice to them, and give them some super likes so they start ranking. And then he's like,
that was you?
That was my idea.
I remember they rolled it out, yeah.
And he gave me 500 super likes. And I would go into people's things, and the moment I'd start being friendly to them, they'd be hostile, think I was up to no good, was causing beef with them. It was like, I was like, how's your day going? They're like, fuck you. What do you want? And I'm thinking, why are you streaming? Why are you streaming if you hate me?
Let me guess, they were all in the belief section of Spoon. Which
I mean, I don't know. I would look at the top 100. Go to top 100, scroll all the way down, and I would try to hit the people in the 90s. And they were just hostile, and I'm like, what is wrong with the world, man? And I guess they're unpopular in the real world and unpopular in the digital world. That's rough. That's rough.
I hate popularity, man. I have benefited from it. I'm not, before Pubs comes for me, I am not the person to saying that I don't want to be popular. I just hate the effects it has on the, you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I do. Logan Bear says we all need penicillin shots from time to time.
It has to happen. You got to get that cream cheese off the tip.
Oh man, this is what I love about Fanboy Modeling School.
No, Pubs, I said I was about to say like some altruistic thing about popularity and how it's bad, but then I was like, if I go there, Pubs is just going to call me out like, you thrive for the popularity, Steve. So I was like, let me just save myself.
Yeah, Pubs is calling you out. Logie says, that's why the job was passed off to you. Yeah, they gave me that job so that I could get accosted by these kids emotionally. So I don't know why everyone's an asshole on the internet. I don't know. I can't figure it out.
So you're back really on your full-time grind on YouTube. You're more content going up. You're building up a presence on TikTok. I've noticed, man. Shout out to you. I love those reels. And man, if for anyone that thinks I'm just like telling my friend how great he is, no, if he sucked at it, I'd be like, listen, this is not a good look for you. I want you to go get a job.
Oh yeah, Steve has told me that. When I have shitty streams, he's like, did you like your stream tonight? I'm like, yeah. And he's like, really? And he's staring at me, and I'm like, what? He's like, the shit was whack. I'm like, what?
And he does the same thing for me. I can tell you many times, I know when I'm about to get a hard critique of a stream, it's like, so, about your guest. And I'm like, look, it was a last-minute thing. I didn't know my cousin didn't know how to speak English. Ooh.
Right. I'm like, you were prying answers out of this freaking corpse that you were interviewing. That's the thing, and because here's the thing. You know what spoon is? I'm a Christian, so I believe things happen for a reason. I absolutely believe that spoon happened to both of us for a reason. That we were supposed to learn certain streaming skills there.
Yeah.
To take to bigger and better places.
I'm going to tell you this, man. People I've learned a great deal from in this path. Obviously, shout out to G Forte, host of the Morning Journal, Rhythm and Muse, Writer's Room, and many other projects. Mantis, obviously, Stacy, the most beautiful spirit to ever exist on any platform anywhere. Stacy is a beacon of hope in an otherwise disgusting world.
Oh, wow. And just like her because she's Canadian.
Well, that's what Canadians are. They're little hobbits that run around bringing joy to people. Except for that Trudeau guy. He's the racist hobbit that got excommunicated for wearing blackface. He basically is an orc in a world of beautiful.
Yo, honestly, we don't normally get political on Fanboy Modeling School, but I'm gonna do it anyway.
Hold on. Let me finish the shout out. And shout out to DT Dub TV, right? And Zach from Fanboy Modeling School. These are people that have shown me what levels of commitment are to streaming, right? And why we do this. And, straight up. I just shouted you out, you little shit.
He said you never shout him out. Damn, you can't catch a break.
I literally shouted him out as that comment came through. You know what? I revoke my shout out to DT.
You see, you should have let me just keep babbling about how much I hate Justin Trudeau.
Huh?
You should have let me keep babbling.
It's true.
If you wasted your breath. So guys, this comment I put it at the lower, _fat_ mantis is me on TikTok. Check me out,
Amazing stuff.
What
that you singing gospel music is a bit
the Easter ballad, epic.
Logie Bear 2000 is Hold Up still on Green Room. I am not on Green Room. The notifications don't work. I'm no longer on Green Room, but tonight's about Mantis. You'll probably hear more about that on Dope Dynamics. Not much to tell actually, but I'm not on Green Room anymore. And
we all have to take our own paths and and you know my theory about Green Room. It would have been dope if we could all have stayed together on one thing. Because I honestly do think if all the Spoon refugees had stayed streaming on Green Room, as flawed as it is, we would have totally changed the nature of that app.
Absolutely. Best thing to come out of Green Room, Public Friend, and the Return to Laney. I'm going to keep it a buck with you. Otherwise than that, I would have never met Public if it wasn't for Green Room. Right?
And Logie saying the notifications don't work. Absolutely. There's so many glitches. Yeah, but you're right. There is good. And like I said, God does things for a reason. Spoon was there to teach us streaming skills. Green Room is to teach us what a streaming app is not. Right. It's the worst user interface ever, says Logie. I absolutely agree. The whole flipping between chat and who's in it is just like, I don't know what they were thinking.
But you know what? Shout out to the crew for coming through, man. That you really find out who's there for you.
Who your real people are. People who
you really find out.
If someone comes to a shitty app for you, they love you. That's real love.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. I see we're at the 124 here. I know we're probably going to keep the party going elsewhere, but I want to ask you a few more questions for the record and so people can always reflect back to this. Mantis, you look back on this 20 years from now. Well, wait, let me ask you this question. Where do you want to be 5 years from now? Secret you keep to yourself. You look in the mirror every morning. You pray to God that it happens to you. Where do you hope this whole thing takes you?
I want to be the next president of Russia. I'm going to be Putin's replacement. This time I won't let Ukraine get away. Obviously I'm hoping to 5 years. Are you kidding me? I have a mission. I have a very aggressive strategy that I'm hoping to get monetized within the next year from YouTube.
Okay.
And then from there on, I'm gonna keep my thing flowing. But at that point, I hope to be a YouTuber.
Okay. That's don't sign any more contracts with Twitch.
Right. Right. No more contracts, indeed. Lady says, "Where are we going? I'm ready to move on."
I was thinking that you would want to be like radio. Honestly, man, I was thinking that you would want to be on an XM or internet-based syndicated show. That's why I always see you.
That would be amazing. If I could get an actual real job, doing it. And however, you know what I've learned also from the Spoon thing?
What?
I'm gonna do whatever radio career I get, whatever radio job I get, because I've been applying to radio places. But I'm gonna continue doing YouTube. What it is I got comfortable with the money I was getting from Spoon, and I stopped doing YouTube. I took large, giant breaks of many months in a row, and it really disrupted my ability to get monetized. And so I'm not gonna finish that until I am monetized.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna take any break. You know?
I want to tell you, man, and that's another thing I respect about you, man, because you're coming back to YouTube, and I'm saying this as a compliment. And for people coming in, you have to understand that there's a grind. Talk to DT, talk to anyone. DT is monetized on YouTube, which is exceedingly hard to do nowadays. But you were on the trajectory to be monetized. I remember looking at your videos like, holy snaps, dude, 5,000, 6,000, 8,000 views on videos, and I'm just like, it's amazing. Cheap bastards wouldn't hit the friggin' subscribe button, but you were getting the views.
Yeah, that's what drives me nuts.
But you were on your way.
Thousands, but like they're like, well, you've gotten 5 subscribers from this video, and I'm like, but 5,000 people watched it. You fuckers! I'll kill you all. Like, you want to just start strangling them? You're like, why didn't you just hit the subscribe button? I would have done right by you, you son of a bitch.
I would have wore a condom. What?
Man, since he starts this, Mantis would kill it on XM. That's what
absolutely. But no, you pushed hard through that. So 5,
it's been a crazy thrill ride. And it's still more to come. Absolutely more to come. And Fanboy Modeling School ain't quitting anytime soon. We're gonna keep going. Logie Bear says make your own app. To be honest, after all the apps that we've been experimenting with and gone around, to be honest, I honestly think that if I had like the money, like if I hit Powerball, I'd make the fattest streaming app.
Yeah, it's interesting because pause. It's interesting. The dude on YouTube by the name of Linus Tech Tip. If you don't know who he is, then you're not that deep into tech, and I'm not shaming you for that. But he is like the grandfather of tech news on YouTube and has multiple thriving channels. And it's probably the only person I know that gets paid from both platforms without there being some shenanigans. Like he's definitely monetized on both. But he created an app called Flowplane, which was his attempt to basically shorten up his own pockets and say, hey, I want to have somewhere where people don't have to get through a paywall or get through a wall to be monetized. Like, you like their stuff, just hit the $2.99 or $5.99 a month tier, and they get like 80% of that, which is an insane number if people start to accrue amount of people. But since he has some great ideas on that stuff, that's for another thing. So 20 years from now, though, where would you like to see your enemies?
So they're going to be in a collection of bones that are in a pile that keep my throne up. That I'm sitting there drinking their mama's blood.
Right.
Yeah, I'm going to be drinking their mama's blood. I want them to die before their mamas, so their mamas feel that pain. You know what I'm saying? You're
going to like keep you going to stretch out the supply of blood, or is it like what do you?
I'm going to keep a long train of mamas. This is the mama joke evolved into the highest bidder level it could possibly be. You know what I'm saying? But like, so they're saying make your own app. Oh, Rogue Radio, what up? Holler, yo! It's always good to see Rogue Radio. Rogue Radio, no relation to Fat Mantis, who does Rogue Planet. We're very different rogues. Rogue Radio is like a political analyzer and a great one at that. Why don't you keep your enemies close, my guy? No, because eventually he said 20 years, so eventually you're gonna have to, pull that trigger, unless you're a beta. But eventually you gotta pull the trigger on those enemies, right?
It's so funny that phrase is used so often because Julius Caesar kept his enemies very close.
So close that they killed him. All those, they're like,
Thanks for keeping
It
us with
also turns stabbing the motherfucker. Oh
Shout
my
out to Rome on HBO. What an amazing show! That
What
was
a great freaking
entirely
show.
historically inaccurate at some points, but it's still
All these,
amazing.
all these shows, they got to be more like dramatic about shit.
They gotta add sex. Gotta
Oh, HBO, they have to add sex.
every year HBO sits down and is like, what can we do to make it more shocking? Siblings. This year we do.
Oh, right. They're like, they read a script and they go, there's only one sex scene. And he's like, so? And he's like, well, we were thinking. And then the producers all look at each other and they're like, the mother and the son. Their scene is very boring. Could you add some sex?
Oh my goodness. Fat Mantis, the affiliate, about to get paid. Will you let us know the moment they send you that acceptance letter, and what's the plan moving forward, man? Shout outs for productions, all that stuff.
So before I go any further, I gotta say, before we ever come to a close or anything like that, I gotta thank you so much for being my partner in crime, for living this dream, for making it happen. Steve, the Hold Up TV, Uncle Curmudgeon, you have kept it so real. You are, you are an amazing best friend to have.
Thank you,
and just a straight up motherfucker. You know what I mean?
I will always keep it a buck with you and everyone else. Berlin says he wants his 10%. You're in his Discord. This is the deal we made with this devil. I didn't read the contract well enough, man.
He's pimping you out now.
No one pimps the curmudgeon out. I pay 10% so I don't fall back into felonies. Is essentially what happens, dude.
So the plan is I'm going to take over TikTok. I'm going to take over YouTube. I'm going to take over Twitch.
Okay.
Then my haters will have a chance to suck my dick or be destroyed. Am I saying metaphorically? Who knows?
You're all coming towards the table. Notice he didn't gender that either, folks. It's like at the end of time, Mantis is sitting on his throne. Well, you know what's going to happen now. You got two choices. Don't make
two choices.
A long line.
Two choices, guys. Kathy says Mantis has no haters. That's so sweet.
None that have shown their face, but I'll tell you about one of my favorite moments that Mantis did on YouTube regarding Mantis. He reviewed a show called Black as F, and I had no interest in watching the show. It's from the creator of Blackish, another show I don't really watch, but I understand its importance. My wife loves that show. Right. She loves all the spinoffs too: Blackish, White, Mixedish, Grownish, and Grownish, that entire universe. And that creator made his own show, which is really just a more gritty version of Blackish, but it had
it's autobiographical. It's like about his life.
Yeah, it's amazing. Well, it has Quincy Jones's daughter on there. What's her face? Rashida Jones.
Rashida Jones, yeah.
Who's a peach? Just absolutely love her. And Mantis did a review of it, and I remember waking up and I'm looking through the comments after watching the review. Thought it was dope, and it was like 3 paragraphs, which I didn't even know you could do in the comments on YouTube.
Comments on YouTube, right?
And this person is tearing into Mantis, and the first thing, you know how you skim something to see the action words? And I kept looking, and it was like lighting up in bulletin points. Passing, light skin.
Right.
And I'm like, what does this have to do with the review? And then I realized you had finally crossed over the threshold. You had your first hater. They had no reasonable response to the video other than to say a bunch of crazy stuff. And I was like, man, that must have felt really good when he read that this morning.
Basically, here's the thing. The show acknowledges the struggles and the pains of also light skins. And unfortunately, the new identity politic that where we're all fighting over like who's who and what's what, there's no room for the light skin.
No.
There's less and less room. People are hating on the light skin.
Well,
you're not really black. You're not really black. You don't get a say. You don't get a vote.
You brought some of that on yourself, too. I'm victim blaming. The Team Light Skin, they went hard that one summer. Team Light Skin went really hard.
It's not our fault that like Hollywood and them love to pick light skins. They're using us the way they've used everybody. You know what I'm saying? But people were taking it out on us. They're like, "Why do you get all the jobs as black people?" I'm like, I didn't mean to do that.
You know what? I'll say this though, man. You've done an amazing job. You've been an inspiration to all of us, to me especially, man. And I know this has been one long love fest. This is kind of reminiscent of the 100th episode of Talking with a Dad, which was oddly the last episode of Talking with a Dad. But
Fanboy Modeling School is going to go on for 100 years. I know, guys, we didn't hit up enough pop culture. We didn't hit up enough of these things. We talked about Thor for a little bit, but like obviously we didn't get fully do it. It was just a special occasion. This is a party we're having.
Yeah.
But honestly, we're going to get back, next week.
We'll be back in it next week. You'll be fine, folks. We'll be back to arguing about subjective, subliminal, or whatever other nonsense, hippie, freaking new age worldview Mantis tries to pass off on me because he read some tweet in the morning.
From Elon Musk.
Elon Musk's mom is an attractive older woman. I was like, who is this person? Who is this silver fox?
But you gotta admit, she looks like she's from the Hunger Games.
I believe she comes from an era when people would refer to women as handsome.
Oh, I'm so glad that era is over. Oh no, it's coming back. Everything that's old is new. Oh god.
Where's the after party at, my brother?
Chilling. Well, let's see what's going on here. Are people still up in my Discord? People are still over in my Discord. Talk Planet over in Rogue Planet. Go to Rogue Planet, and in the VC called Talk Planet, it's still packed with people.
I'm in there, man. I'm in there. I'm going hard tonight, folks. Yes. I'm gonna do the outro because I just gotta say it. Shout out to the Fat Mantis once again, making an affiliate. Make sure you tune in tomorrow, 11:30 a.m. sharp. Hopefully, you will see an option to hit the sub button. Remember to support your favorite streamers on all their platforms so they can continue to make this content for you. If you have Prime, a sub is free. Gems are cheap there. They're plentiful. Thank you, everyone that came through tonight to support this brother. Give him a round of applause. Hit him up in his Discord. Follow him on all his socials. Make sure he stays full of love. We appreciate you, Mantis.
Yo, I love you, Nomo. And thank you so much for everything you do and your participation in this. Thank you all who have gotten me to affiliate. Thank you guys for following and being into it, coming into brunch, hanging out with me on brunch. I love brunches. Brunches will resume tomorrow. It's going to be dope AF. But yo, if you want to come over to my Discord and come hang out and talk Planet, I would appreciate it. Until next time. Ciao for now, bitches.